Hey guys, how's it hanging everybody? This is StormPow and I am so excited to be recording today's video inside of a real arcade. So I know that there's a lot going on in the background, but I really wanted to capture the retro feel that you can only get inside of a real working arcade. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So green screens are cool and we can definitely agree on that, but are they cool enough for your live stream? So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at using green screens in live streams and just having your room in your background. And we're also going to be taking a look at a couple of other options that really people don't consider, and I consider them secret options that you've got. And we're going to be talking about those towards the end of the video. But as a quick background, if maybe this is your first time on the channel, my name is StormPow and I stream on twitch.tv/thestormpow, and I make videos here on YouTube talking about making videos, especially in the realm of content creation for gamers. Years and years ago, I used to have a channel called The StormPow where I made gameplay videos, and I learned a lot in that process. And nowadays, I prefer to make videos more so sharing what I've learned as far as how to make videos in the gaming realm, because I watch a lot of creators who make videos on how to enhance your streams, but there are a lot of topics that I feel like they don't cover, and I specifically want to cover some of the topics that I wish that I had had videos to learn about when I first got into streaming and when I first got into creation. So today we're going to be answering the simple question of to green screen or not to green screen. And we're going to do so by weighing out the pros and the cons of pretty much all of our options here. So first off, we're going to talk about one of the main options that pretty much everybody uses when they start out, and that is not to use a green screen and in the background to be your room or your office or wherever it is that you game and stream at. So the pros of this is that it's easy to set up. Definitely. I mean, literally it is your room. No assembly required whatsoever. You literally turn on your webcam, you point it somewhere, and you're good to go. But it doesn't have to be that simple. In fact, it's best if you don't make it that simple. Some of the best ways to utilize this are to have something cool in your background or something that kind of says something about you, like a conversation piece or something like that. If you can have something cool in your background, like a poster to a movie you really like, or a poster to a game you like to play, or even like some cool knickknacks or some memorabilia, some collectibles, if you've got stuff like that to put on a shelf or maybe put on a case somewhere behind you that can kind of showcase a little something about you or some of your interests, that'll give your viewers something really cool to talk to you about. One of the hardest things about starting streaming is finding reasons or ways to keep talking even though there's nobody talking in your chat. Make it a lot easier on new viewers to come in by giving them something to talk to you about. Oh, that's such a cool Pikachu figurine that you've got. Pokemon Gold and Silver were some of the first games that I ever played. I love Pokemon. Wow, I really like that RGB lighting that you've got in the background. Where did you get that from? Hey, that poster of the girl in the bikini looks kind of like my sister. So this is easy, but it's expandable. If you decide maybe you want to go and invest in some lights in the background to kind of add a little bit of a color to it, or maybe make the lights change, you can do so pretty cheap and pretty easily. There's all kinds of DIY kits if you go on Amazon and you start looking up for RGB lighting or just solid color LED lighting or kind of a soft glow if you want to get like a lamp that just kind of points in the background to just kind of add a little bit of a tint to the room that you're in. You can do whatever matches the style, whatever matches the vibe of your stream. Now, I fluctuate a lot on my backgrounds on my stream. You'll come in one week and I'll have a green screen on, and then the other week I won't, and then I'll have all these other different things that I'm trying out because I'm always playing around with the background. Now, currently, I am not using a green screen. I'm just having my room in the background. I've kind of situated my desk in a way to where you can see my bookshelf behind me, and I kind of stacked up some stuff behind me, you know, some little wood carvings that my grandpa made, my coffee mug from my podcast, some of my games, an old typewriter, a globe, a microphone, a keyboard, all that kind of stuff back behind me, and I just have my lighting that kind of adds a little bit of a blue tint to there. Now, that's nothing crazy, nothing too complicated. I would like to add some more lighting, add some more stuff to the shelves, but that's the cool thing, is it's expandable. I don't have to do it all right now. It's fine as is, but if I decide that I want to go and add some stuff to it, then I can pretty cheap, pretty easily, and however the heck I want to do it. Personally, I have one pet peeve, and it's really dumb, and I think I might be the only person with this pet peeve, but I hate it when I can see the streamer's bed in their background. Like, I get it. It's relatable because most people game in the same room that they sleep in. Now, granted, this room right here that I'm gaming in has a bed in it. It's our guest bedroom / my office. But I have everything situated very carefully so that way you don't see the bed in any of my YouTube videos or my live stream, because it's just a pet peeve of mine. I think it does look way more professional if you don't have a bed in the background. Now, like I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing to have it there because it does make you more relatable. And there is definitely a certain element of needing to be relatable to your audience. Come on, guys, just situate your camera in the way to where it doesn't show your bed. Or you know what? I'll settle if you guys will just make your dang beds, all right? Because it distracts the hell out of me when I'm watching a streamer and behind them is a messy bed with 2 weeks worth of laundry sitting on it. And again, look, I'm not saying that I'm the neatest, most cleanest dude, because right behind this camera is a messy bed with laundry on it. But that's why I got the camera facing this way, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna calm myself down about that and we're gonna move on. So the pros are, it is easy to set up, it's customizable, it's very cheap, it can add a little bit of character to your stream even. And the main con is just that it can look very boring if you don't put the time and maybe even a little bit of money into customizing it. So let's take a look at the option of using a green screen. Now, I used to use a green screen on a lot of my live streams and I don't currently. There are a couple of reasons why I started using one, and there are a couple of reasons why I quit using one. Green screens are great because they don't take up that much space on your live stream. There's no messy background in your webcam or the webcam border or anything like that. It's really good to get the most gameplay as possible on the screen, which I'm huge on. I hate big, clunky, intrusive overlays that take up half the screen, it feels like. I basically want the gameplay and the streamer, and of course the occasional alert or whatever the heck that they need on the stream. But I want as much of that unnecessary stuff as possible gone. And so that's why the green screen appealed to me. I was like, I can put myself wherever I want, and I'm not gonna have this whole background just taking up unnecessary screen space. The problem with green screens, though, is that for one, they can get pretty expensive. Now, you can find cheap ones, and if you go to the description below, you can see my kit.com profile, and I always have a low budget but high quality streaming setup kit there, and you can go there, and I'm gonna have whatever my current recommendations are for green screens and lighting and things like that. But to get a decent green screen, you are gonna spend a decent amount of money, especially if you wanna get one that is actually kind of big. The problem with a lot of them is that they're pretty small, and then you've got to situate your camera very particularly. You can get larger ones though, so that way it covers up most of your room, but then most of your room is covered up. And the main reason why you're thinking about doing a green screen is probably because this is your bedroom and you don't have anything cool in there. So now you've got this big ass intrusive green screen in your room. So a lot of times they're not very big, or they may require some setup. You may have to get like a mount or a rack to hang them up on to make sure that it's very tight. There's no wrinkles in it or anything like that. Got to make sure that it covers the right amount of space, so that way your entire background is covered up by the green screen. And most importantly, and also most tricky, is the lighting. So you're gonna have to make sure that you've got pretty good lighting setup. So not only are you spending the money on the green screen itself, but now if you haven't already, you're investing in some lighting, because you're gonna want some good solid lighting, at least 2 of them. You're gonna want one on each side and probably even another one in the middle right behind your camera as well. So that way the lighting is good and there's no mess ups on your green screen, or else every single time that you move at all, it's gonna generate a shadow in a certain way that messes up the green screen and adds a bunch of fluff behind you, and it just looks really bad. Because to me, like, the error in the green screen kind of kills that professional vibe that you had going on by using the green screen in the first place. And that's the main reason why I quit using one, because I don't have enough of a solid lighting setup to where it did it without faltering. And it really bugged me to watch a clip or a replay of one of my VODs and see my green screen messing up half the time. I didn't like being that careful to where I'm worried about certain poses and things like that. And speaking of poses, one other thing that really sucks about green screens is if you want to move your arms out just a little bit, or, you know, be reactive like you probably should be during your streams, and maybe do something with your arms or whatever, or walk out of the shot or sit up just a little bit extra, then it cuts you off in the stream, and it just really kind of, again, kills the professionalism that you had going. Now, some streamers do green screens really well. They can either just do it and they stay stay pretty constant, and it just fits their vibe really well. And some of them even use it to do creative stuff, which you can add, you can put yourself in a cool place with a green screen. I even have a video up on how to make yourself pop out of your webcam using your green screen. So there are a lot of cool things that you can do and get very creative with this. You can put yourself in a different background, which kind of segues me into the next one. But first, let's go ahead and summarize green screens in general. The pros are that it doesn't take up very much screen space. It can make you look pretty professional. You can get creative with them, but the cons are that it gets very costly and requires pretty good lighting, and that you can't move around as much on the screen. So now we're going to take a look at some other options, some secret options, if you will. So you can use a green screen for one to put yourself in a different background, and sometimes people like to do that. You can put yourself in the background of your favorite game, kind of as a cool thing to, again, add some personalization to your stream, but kind of also add a little bit of art and add a little bit of uniqueness, because not a lot of people do this. I even, for a couple of videos, green screened myself into a cool gamer's room, and I thought that I was being slick and getting away with it. And I've been trying this lie out here. I feel like it's not as obvious here, but you guys can tell me if it is. It won't hurt my feelings. I'm using my green screen right now, and this background. Okay, it's obvious.
Because I saw it on I think a VOD of one of your podcasts, and I was just like, wait, you didn't upgrade this back. Oh, green screen.
Now there is another option, which I don't know of anybody that really does. But I did it for a handful of streams, and I kind of like it, but overall I decided to not stick with it, and maybe I'll come back to it. I'm curious what you guys think. I had a tapestry hanging up behind me, and it took up the entire background, and it was kind of neat. It was basically my way of compromising, because I didn't have anything cool in my room to show off, but I didn't want to mess with a green screen, and I didn't want just my plain wall. So I wanted something that was expressive, but that didn't cost me a lot of money and didn't require a whole lot of upkeep or a whole lot of carefulness or anything like that. And you can get very personal with these. You can have just a cool design that can, again, be a conversation piece, like what people want out of the normal background of your room. People can say, that's a really cool tapestry. I really like that. Where'd you get it from? I really like the colors in that. I really like the design in that. It'll really interest them. They might want to see what the rest of your room looks like. Even if the rest of it isn't that cool or that inspired, they may still be interested to know more about you based off of that. It definitely beats the hell out of just having your plain wall behind you, in my opinion. And you just hang it up once and it's done. You don't have to worry about keeping a room clean or adding stuff to your shelf or anything like that. You just hang it up once and it's done. No fancy lighting required, no worrying about getting up and moving or anything like that and generating a shadow, no worrying about adding a tinted light behind you to add some artistic vibe to it. You're just good to go. Now the problem is it's just not everybody's style, and hey, that's cool. That's completely cool. Some people, it's a little bit more hippy dippy than they'd like, and that's fine, because it is hard to find tapestries and things like that for every single type of style. A lot of them are very effeminate, and so if you want something a little bit more masculine, you may have a little bit more trouble. I found several just by searching landscapes and mountainscapes and things like that. I found a couple that really fit what I was looking for, or you can find a lot that are space themed and things like that. So your options are a little bit more limited, I'll say that. You may have a hard time finding a tapestry or whatever for exactly what you're looking for. Now, of course, you can substitute with a really nice blanket maybe. That might start to look a little bit cheesy if you can obviously tell it's a blanket instead of a tapestry or things like that. But you can find certain things that you can do that are kind of in that same realm to hang up behind you, just to add a quick little background. Now, assuming that all of these are equal options to you and you've got a budget that you're willing to spend and really money's not an object, you can go and buy cool stuff to put behind you, or you can go and buy a green screen and you can really do whatever you want. Personally, I think I overall recommend just going ahead and buying some cool stuff to hang up behind you, or buying some cool lights to put behind you or something like that. Because personally, I really prefer that look in most streams. I think that it does kind of make me feel a little bit more in tune with the streamer, like they're just hanging out in their room. But again, it kind of all goes for the vibe that you're going with. People succeed doing all of these, so neither one of them is really like a straight cut shot to success or to making your stream look cool. It all overall matters for the vibe that you're going for. If you want to have a more personal stream where you get really close and connected with your viewers, then I recommend having a background of some kind where they can see your room, or at the very least like a tapestry. If your stream is more so focused on the gameplay itself, like you're a really, really good player and maybe you're not quite as personable, you don't talk quite as much, maybe you're more into the game itself than you are the actual chat and everything like that, I'd probably go with a green screen, because you're going to want to show as much of the game as possible, and you are going to want really nothing distracting your viewer from the gameplay, because having things in the background, your dog gets up and moves or something like that, that's going to distract your viewers from you and from the gameplay. But that's just my opinion. Please let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Which one of these is your personal favorite setup, or are there some other options that maybe we're not even exploring right now that you guys do? What are you guys doing that's creative with green screens or with your background of your room or tapestries or anything like that? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd really like to hear about it. But other than that, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like it. That really does help me out a lot. And also be sure to subscribe for some more videos. And also check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/TheStormPow, where I stream regularly. Come in there, give me a chat, ask me some more questions, and let's get some conversations going. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you have a nice day, and goodbye.